Good morning, everyone. My name is Poppy.
And I am Roots. Maybe you know me from last night's campfire.
Yeah. To start off, we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So I chose the nature name Poppy because I love flowers. They're one of my favorite things about nature. And poppies, which are bright orange, delicate little flowers, are my absolute favorite. They're California's state flower, and they are growing all over this place right now. They're super pretty, and they just bring a lot of joy, and that's what I hope to bring to all of you. So that's why I chose Poppy.
Oh, I love that. So my name is Roots, and as you all know, hopefully we'll learn about this week, roots help the plants and the trees grow. They bring up the water all the way up to the trees from the soil, and I chose my nature name because I want to help you all grow as individuals and as students at Outdoor Ed and at home. Fun fact about me is I love sports, so if you love sports like this video, thank you.
Oh yeah, and a fun fact about me, I love ice cream. It's my absolute favorite. I try to eat it every day. Might not be that healthy, but it's just a part of my life.
Love it, love it.
All right, so our theme for today is changing perspective, soil to sky. So we're going to be learning all about plants, and especially some really cool leaves and trees. So to start off, we're going to start, I think, with a song to get everyone energized and going for the day. And it's called Live Oak, which is a special type of tree that we have here at Outdoor Ed.
But before we start Live Oak, we want all of you to go gather your materials.
Right, yes.
So go gather your pencils, pens, maybe markers, a piece of paper, because we're going to do some sketching later on. So take about 30 seconds to go grab that stuff. And naturalists here will grab their stuff too.
Yeah. And while you guys are grabbing your things, we're going to have a quick musical interlude from Lady Nightshade, ukulele superstar. That was an awesome musical interlude.
Thank you, Lady Nightshade.
All right, so hopefully you guys have your pencils and paper. So we're going to get started with that song. Why don't you go ahead and stand on up? We're going to
stand on
get
up.
going for the morning.
Can we shake out our morning sleepy time? Get energized, maybe give a little shout. Give a little shout. Okay, cool.
All right,
nice. You want to teach them this song, Poppy?
Yeah. All right, so like I said, this song is called Live Oak, and it's a repeat after me song.
Repeat after me song.
And do as I do song.
And I do as I do song.
Live Oak, Live Oak.
Live Oak, Live Oak.
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, baby.
Let your xylem flow up.
Let your xylem flow up.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nice. And then we're going to do that twice for the chorus.
Yeah.
And we'll run through it once all the way, and then I think we're going to get going with some verses, and we'll sing that chorus in between each set of verses. All right, so let's start out with the chorus, and then we'll get going for the song.
Yeah.
All right.
And we want you all at home to sing along with us.
Oh, yeah, singing along. That means standing up, doing the moves with us. Get yourself going this morning. All right. And we're going to...
Live Oak, Live Oak. Ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Live Oak, Live Oak. Ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Gray Squirrel told me just the other day he found an acorn and he ran away. Dug a hole and he stuck it in the sand. New tall trees grow across the land. Chorus! Live oak, live oak. Ooh, baby, let your your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Live oak, live oak. Ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. A live oak's roots grow way down low, where water and nutrients begin to flow. They raise their branches up to the sun, and now photosynthesis has begun.
Yeah.
Live oak, ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Live oak, ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Live oak leaves will prick your skin. Ouch! Touch them once, you won't touch them again. Oak woodland is their favorite home, so pay them a visit in their own life zone. Live oak, ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Live oak, ooh, baby, let your xylem flow up. Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo!
Nice.
Warm fuzzy.
That might be my favorite one.
That is great.
That was awesome.
Happy, did you remember in the song that I think it was Chanterelle said that they found a Chanterelle in Pacific, they found a leaf and it pricked their skin?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I definitely found some prickly leaves in this forest before.
Yeah, I have a quick story about that. I like to walk around the forest and pick up the redwood leaves because I really like them. Sometimes I pick green ones, light brown, tan, eggshell, what else?
Full spectrum.
Moss color, light green, forest green. And I like to lay them out. But there was one leaf that pricked my skin, and from the song, I think it is from a live oak tree. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. We are going to learn a lot more about live oak leaves and other leaves today. So you are in luck, Roots. We are going to start off with learning about some of the different characteristics of leaves. So to start, we're going to be using our 3 eyes a lot today. So we're just going to go over them again really quick. These are things that you learned yesterday and that hopefully we're going to use today. So let's get a quick reminder of these 3 eyes. The first one is I notice, so observations that you make about the leaves that we're going to go find shortly. And number 2 is I wonder, and these are just questions that you have about the object that you're holding. And number 3, it reminds me of, so connecting that object to something that maybe it looks like or reminds you of that you have seen or heard of previously. So those are our 3 eyes. Keep those in mind because we're going to use them a lot today.
Woohoo! 3 eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Good. So today we are going to start off with a little leaf hunt because we're going to be looking really closely at some leaves.
But so we have the forest here. Where do you think the kids at home can find their leaves, Poppy?
Ooh, good question. So if you have a backyard or a front yard, maybe you have a tree or a bush that you can run outside and grab 2 leaves from. And if you don't, maybe you could look in the house. Some people have houseplants that are growing in their windowsill. Maybe you could grab a leaf from that. And if you don't have any of that, maybe you could even open up your fridge.
Go in your fridge.
Oh, yeah. And instead of grabbing a snack, you could find maybe a spinach leaf, lettuce leaf, basil leaf, anything like that. If you don't have a leaf after that, that's all right. We're going to have lots of leaves on camera that you guys can observe with us.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you and the naturalists 1 minute to go grab those leaves.
Uno minuto.
Yeah, so grab those leaves. We're going to put up a leaf that is very common around here. If you don't have one, it's going to be a redwood leaf. And so if you come back early from that leaf hunt or you don't have a leaf of your own that you can easily find, in the comments while we're waiting for everyone to finish their leaf hunt, maybe write some things that you notice or wonder or it reminds you of with the redwood leaf.
Yes.
All right. Go explore.
1 minute.
1 minute, go see if you can find a leaf in your house or near it.
What 2 do you need
We're going to be seeing a lot of these redwood leaves and redwood trees. So if you see anything that you notice, anything you wonder, maybe about the shape, the color, where it came from, you can write that question in the comments. 360 so you can see the back. Is it the same? Is it different? If it is different, how is it different?
Comment below if you have any observations of this leaf.
We'll give you guys a few more seconds to see if you can find a leaf in your house or nearby.
Look in your fridge.
All right, and with that, we are gonna get going. So hopefully you guys were able to find a leaf. And to start off, I think we're gonna have some of our naturalists come up and share some of the leaves that they found. While they're doing this, go ahead and share something unique about your leaf maybe in the comments. So anything that's unique about your leaf, maybe it's got spots or a really cool edge, go ahead and write that, and we're gonna have some of the naturalists come up and share their leaves. So is there anyone who wants to share something they noticed? Oh, Twig. Oh, thanks. Come on up. What do you notice about your leaf, Twig?
Hey, this is my leaf.
Yeah.
And I noticed that it has these black spots all over it. And I am just trying to figure out in my little brain of mine what those spots are.
Nice, Twig.
Did you count how many spots were on that leaf?
I unfortunately can't count that high. So
okay.
it's a no from me.
Oh, thank you, Twig, for sharing. That is awesome.
Nice. Remember, if you have anything... Oh, it looks like we have some comments.
Comment lady! We've got some comments from the audience. Leanne noticed that it looked like a pine leaf.
Oh, nice.
And Jamie said it looked prickly.
Oh, nice.
And then we had Todd who said it looked prickly and green.
Beautiful.
And then Isabel was noticing something interesting. She noticed that even though it was one leaf, it looked like many little leaves.
Nice. That's awesome.
So if you missed out, the students in great comments, they were talking about, I assume, this specific redwood leaf. And those are really good observations. So if you missed out, I'm just going to give you a little shot of it. Yeah.
Nice. That was awesome. Thanks, Roots. All right. Now we are going to think of some I wonders. So maybe a question you have about your leaf. Could be the way it looks. Maybe what happened to that leaf before you found it. So we're going to ask our naturalists. Anyone have a good I wonder for their leaf? And maybe you guys have some at home too on your leaf, or one that you are seeing from the video.
Yeah.
So feel free to comment your wonders, your questions about any of these leaves. Anyone have a good I wonder for their leaf? Thanks, Hazel.
I have one. Should I bring it up?
Yeah, go for it.
I found this really cool leaf. Looks like a pretty small size. And I'm wondering if there's any animals in the forest that like to eat these kinds of leaves.
What's the texture of your leaf, Hazel?
It's pretty soft, which is why I think maybe an animal might want to eat it instead of something like more prickly like the live oak leaves. I think it would be a tasty snack.
Oh, beautiful, Hazel. Thank you.
Great question.
Comment lady,
More
too.
comments.
We've got a few more I notices. The I wonders are coming.
Cool.
Michael says it looks like ferns.
Very similar to ferns.
And Melissa said the top is smaller than the bottom.
True.
Size, texture.
Yeah.
That is great comparisons to
Love
other
it.
leaves.
Nice. All right. So let's move on to our last eye. Anyone want to tell me what that last eye is? Oh yeah, Lumen.
It reminds me of.
Nice. It reminds me of. So, if you have a good it reminds me of for a leaf you've seen or the one that you collected at home, go ahead and again write it in the comments, and we're going to get 2 it reminds me ofs from our naturalists. So,
And please comment in the bottom because we want to know if you have a houseplant or any other leaves that may not be in this forest. We want to see what you have at home.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Soleil.
And we're
Okay.
going to give you the whiteboard so everyone can see it really well.
Yeah. So mine really looks like a face.
Oh my god, it does.
So much.
Does it look like
I see it.
Groot? It looks like
It
Groot.
does. It looks like Groot. You can see the eyes and the spiky top kind of looks like hair. There's a little mouth in there.
Oh my gosh.
The veins in the middle of the leaf kind of look like a really long nose. Very
Nice.
detailed face.
I see it. That definitely looks like Groot. That's amazing. Thanks, Soleil. All right, we're going to take one more it reminds me of. All right, anyone else?
Give some comments
Oh,
first.
comments.
many.
We love comments.
Stephanie had a reminds me of. Stephanie said that her leaf reminded her of a spinach leaf. Spinach! And then we had some students finding their own leaves at home. Someone found a cherry leaf, they think. Geronimo found an air plant.
Oh, Geronimo.
Air plant. And Gary found a mint leaf in his house. Isn't that cool? I wonder what that one looks
And
like.
that's really cool. We didn't even talk about like the senses, like the smell. Maybe mint has some smell to it.
Yeah, that's something you can totally notice.
Oh,
We didn't even smell our leaves. What a good idea.
Yeah, everyone go ahead and give your leaf a quick smell.
Yeah. I got a couple questions for you from the audience. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to answer these, but
Okay.
Leanne is wondering how long the leaf will live.
Ah.
And then Nalini is wondering why leaves have different colors.
Great question.
We have a lot of naturalists here, so I don't know, maybe you can put your heads together, but if you can't answer them, I'm sure they'll forgive you.
So the first question is, how long will the leaves live?
So the cool thing about redwood leaves, which we have a lot of here, is
Let's
you
just
can actually tell the age of the redwood leaf by counting these little like nodes. So we're gonna do a little close up, and you can actually, oh, there we go. Nice. I believe that we've got one here. Oh, perfect. Roots, you want to show us that?
Yeah. So here's a visual of, it looks like they're not specifically redwood leaves, but like Douglas fir leaves. And you can see that what Poppy was saying, the different nodes can tell you the amount of years the tree has lived for, or
That leaf has lived.
the leaf has lived for. So you can see 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Where are you at? Who knows? Who knows?
So each segment represents another year of growth. So that kind of answers your question. For some leaves, you can tell how old that specific leaf is. Nice.
Thank you. Good question. What's the second? Oh.
Hi, we've got one more. I wonder.
Ooh, love
I
it.
wonder how tall the trees grow depending on the leaves. That's related.
Nice.
Really interesting question. And then we have an it reminds me of, I think about the place. It reminds me of a church retreat we used to go to with lots of animals.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
I love that.
Those are all great questions, great comments, and we hope you guys keep them coming. We're going to do one last It Reminds Me Of with our naturalist leaves before we move on. Does anyone else have a good, all right, yeah, nice, specific. And we're going to give you the whiteboard.
My leaf
Oh.
reminds me of a flower, the way all the leaves are growing out together. It kind of looks like it has petals, and that it's making a pretty cool flower. So it might be a lot of leaves together, but I still think it's pretty cool.
Nice.
I can also share with the students what I noticed about the different leaves the naturalist showed. So Twig had one that had different colors and speckles, and I noticed that Hazel's was completely green. So maybe the green leaves just fell off the plant or fell off a tree recently, and Twigs, maybe it's decomposing, or the spots is a sign or evidence of life.
True. Yeah, I like that you never know. These are good speculations.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some of the leaves that are around us that are starting to change color might be older. Nice. All right, so we're going to look a little bit closer at some different leaves. We're going to learn about the characteristics of leaves. Each plant has very unique leaves. So we're going to learn first about the overall shape of the leaves. So to start off, we've got a pretty hard one. Everyone take
Okay.
your hands, make a circle.
Okay, we're making a circle.
Make a circle
not
and
an
say
oval.
round.
Round.
Oh yeah, that's our first leaf shape. We've got a round leaf, and I think someone in our naturalist audience found a round leaf. Hazel, come on up. Let's show
And
her.
if you have a round leaf at home, wave it up in the air.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Here's our round leaf. You can tell it's round because it's completely circular.
In around town.
Fun fact about this leaf, you can actually eat it. It's called miner's leaf.
I'm a little loopy this morning.
Pretty cool.
Nice. Thanks, Hazel.
Thank you, Hazel. So we got round.
We've got round, and then everyone hold up your hand like a big high five, and then give yourself a high five, just like that. Oh yeah, because our next leaf shape is hand-like. Oh yeah, so go ahead and trace your hand. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on the leaf. So let's get a quick little visual of what that looks like. One great example we have here is a maple leaf, and you can kind of see it's got maybe not full 5, but maybe 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sometimes hand-like leaves are roughly look like 5 fingers. So you kind of have to use your imagination sometimes, but you can kind of see you've got 5 points, and if you were to put your hand right on it, it even looks a little
Is it as
hand-like.
big as your hand,
Poppy?
Oh, I think it's pretty close. Let's see. Little leaf
Oh,
high five.
snap-a-roll,
Oh my
look
gosh.
at that.
Definitely close. Nice.
Size of your hand.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes, comment lady.
Got some cool comments and some wonders.
Yeah, come on in.
Sonja's been wondering about what makes leaves edible. And then a lot of the students were looking at Hazel's leaf. Hazel, can you bring that up close again?
Yeah.
And Michael, I think it was, Michael told us that he once made a salad out of this leaf.
No way. Michael, you know what the leaf is called?
He said it was called miner's lettuce. Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Good job.
Awesome. That's a great question. What makes leaves edible?
Does anyone know, any of the naturalists know what makes a leaf edible?
Carrie was also noticing that it looks like a green flower, which was a great notice.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Yeah, and what's really important here at Outdoor
Awesome.
Ed, and us naturalists, we always tell the students when we go on hikes with them, make sure you ask us before you eat either a plant or a leaf, because we may not know if it's edible, or you may not know, but as long as you can identify the plant and you're knowledgeable in the plant, you can definitely eat them.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
Nightshade.
oh yeah,
prepared to give an answer.
perfect. Come on in, Lady Nightshade. You have some
Nightshade is
great
poison.
experience with this. I
The reason that some plants are edible and some aren't is because the ones that are not edible have poisonous compounds in them. I know this because nightshades are one of them. Boom.
Thank you,
thanks,
Lady
Lady
Nightshade.
That is
Well
so
said.
true.
Well said.
Yeah. Some of the plants that grow in the forest also may be edible to animals, but not to us. So it's very different. It varies from people to animals. You just never know. So that's why you want to be careful before you eat anything in the forest. All right. Next leaf shape, we've got hearts. So everyone make a little heart hands. Oh yeah, maybe give a little heart. Nice. And I think we have someone who has a heart-shaped leaf that they found.
Oh, me.
Oh yeah, Lulu, come on up.
I have the heart shape.
Oh, look at you. Full of love.
Nice. You've got those heart-shaped leaves and they're growing in a set of 3. And it's awesome that we just talked about edible plants because this one is also edible. Lumen, you want to tell us what the name of this is?
Yes, this is Redwood sorrel, and it's super sour. It reminds me of a green apple.
Nice.
Green apple.
It tastes like green apple.
Can I eat it?
Go for it. Yep. Right on screen.
Oh, wow. Good job, Blue.
So yummy. And again, we're eating those things because we are confident we know that those are safe to eat. All right. So let's go on to one more leaf shape. We're going to go with spear-like. So these ones can be more triangular. Did anyone happen to find a spear-like leaf?
Put your triangles
If
up in
not,
the air.
It's all right. We got one right here. We're going to go with this one right here. All right. It might look familiar to some of you, but you can kind of see it's a little more triangular in shape. And this is going to be our spear-like shaped leaf.
And I think one of the students talked about how the redwood leaf looks like a fern, and
Yeah.
guess what this is? A fern. Wow.
So right. I can totally see how that redwood leaf resembles that fern. Let's do a little side by side. All right, so in the comments, go ahead and maybe write something that's similar between the fern and this redwood leaf, and maybe something that's different. And then if you share a comment, maybe we can have it read. So look really close at that fern and that redwood leaf, and maybe write something that's similar between the two or different.
And also ask yourself, where do these, there's pieces of leaves that we're showing you, but also think about where they came from, like either a big bush or a bigger fern or a bigger tree, and let us know if you can predict where they came from just by looking at them.
Yeah, nice. All right, so that's gonna close out our shapes. We're gonna move on to Bye shapes. We're gonna move on to our next leaf characteristic, which is going to be the edges. So everyone, go ahead and hold up your leaf if you have it at home. Hold it up too, and go ahead and trace the outside of your leaf. Trace the outside. If your finger went right over it without any problem, and went just like that, then it's a smooth edge leaf. Does anyone have an example of a smooth edge leaf?
Everyone's smooth.
Smooth edge. Twig? All right, come on up, Twig. Let's check out that smooth edge.
Look at that smooth edge.
Yeah, so if you,
My
Twig-
finger can just go right over it with no issues at all.
Perfect. Nice. Thanks, Twig. All right. We'll leave you with some comments.
Speaking of smooth, we got some smooth comments coming in hot right now. Nalini was noticing that her leaf looked heart-shaped.
Heart-shaped.
Great.
Put up your hearts. Yeah.
And then Kyle had a fun fact. Kyle shared with us that there's one type of evergreen leaf that tastes like oranges.
Oh my
You know
gosh.
what leaf I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Have you gone to Outdoor Ed?
Kyle's got a lot of knowledge up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Stephanie and company, and that means Stephanie and a lot of other students also noticed that the leaf you were just showing looked kind of like a fern. Some other people said it looked like a tree, and then you were comparing the two, and Carrie said they both had skinny leaves. So she was making that comparison about their similarity, which is really awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
Thanks for your comments.
These
everyone.
are awesome comments. Please keep it coming, guys. Beautiful.
More
Oh yes, comment lady number 2.
Alright, Natalie has said that the smaller leaves are rounder, but the bigger ones were pointier. So we got some comparisons, and then a lot of people were noticing that both are green, but the redwood is dark and pointy, and it looks like pine leaves.
Wow, these are great observations. I love that you guys are looking really closely at the different characteristics of the leaf.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so we've got smooth edges. The next thing we're going to look at are toothed edges. So, oh, yeah.
Like
Now,
tooth?
What else has teeth? We have teeth. Anyone? What else? Anything else have teeth?
Lions
Lions have teeth.
Horses.
Horses have teeth.
Dragons.
What about a knife? So when you're cutting your food,
Oh my gosh.
you've got some teeth on your knife, and that's going to be very similar to what this next leaf looks like. So, do you have the tooth edge? Oh yeah, Shanty, come on up.
All right, this leaf is toothed. You can see it has all those prickles all the way around the outside. It's actually from one of those live oak trees, so I touched it once and I won't touch it again.
Yeah, that's a great example of a live oak leaf, and you can tell, unlike Twig's leaf, if you were to run your finger past that, just like Shanty was saying, it would hurt pretty bad. So we've got that nice, sharp, jagged, toothed leaf. Awesome. Thanks, Shanty.
Shanty, by chance, is your leaf green?
It sure is.
Well, that's really interesting because Kelsey is wondering why most leaves are green. What is your leaf if it's green?
Lady Nightshade wants to help us
They're
out with this.
almost all green. Kelsey, that is such a good question.
We have a hypothesis from a student, Chelsea. Christine.
Thanks, Christine.
Christine says that it's maybe from the chlorophyll in the leaves.
Way to go, Christine.
Rocking it.
What's
Nice.
chlorophyll?
What is chlorophyll? And I'm gonna write this on the board. Do you see it?
We'll zoom in.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Nice.
Chlorophyll. Poppy, do you want to talk a little bit about chlorophyll? And I can actually draw it on the board too.
Yeah, so you were right on track. What gives leaves their green color is that chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is what leaves use to do photosynthesis. Big, long word. And photosynthesis is that process of taking energy from the sun. Everyone hold up your hands to the sun, gather those sun rays, and shoot them down. Because chlorophyll collects all that sun and uses that energy to make sugar, and that's what feeds the plants.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. Yeah, chlorophyll gives the plants that green color because chlorophyll, I believe, reflects the green light, right?
And
Yeah,
chlorophyll,
green light.
it's actually a cell that's found, if you can, chlorophyll, or chloroplast.
Yeah, chlorophyll is like that pigment that's inside the chloroplast, inside the cell. So it's all really, really tiny.
So this is the chloroplast.
Things that we can't even see with our eyes, but when you combine a lot of those in all the different cells, it gives leaves that overall green color. So these are really awesome scientific questions and observations you guys are making. That's great.
I think I drew. Yeah.
Should have been a biology major.
Nice. All right. I think we've got one more. Oh, actually, we're gonna leave it at that. We've got tooth, we've got smooth edges, and we're gonna move on to our last, or one of our last characteristics, which is gonna be veins. So, other things have veins, right? We have veins. So go ahead and check out your arm really quick and see if you can see your veins. Sometimes they're like a bluish color under your skin.
Which one is
And leaves have veins too. So we have leaves that have parking lot veins. So go ahead and get out your little steering wheel. Imagine that you're a tiny ant. You've got to shrink down. You're driving your tiny ant car and you're looking for a parking lot. And you go, and park.
Park.
Because our first type of veins, the first type of veins are in a parking lot pattern. So we're gonna get a close-up of what that looks like. And you can see that they look like tiny little parking spaces that several little ants could park in. So this is our first pattern, are these main veins. We've got the center vein and all these little side veins that are creating that parking lot pattern. And nice, in the comments below, maybe comment what type of edge this leaf has, the one edge that we just learned about. And we're gonna move on to our next set of veins. Thank you.
Parking lot.
Parking lot veins. All right, more comments.
Lady.
Several ants.
While everyone is thinking about those veins and edges, I wanted to share a couple of comments. Rhonda was noticing that tooth leaf looks like a beautiful lay. Cool comparison. Thanks, Rhonda. And Daryl wanted everyone to know, this is a very important part of what leaves do, that leaves make oxygen.
Oh, true.
Yeah, Daryl. You know
read
that
that.
Daryl. Yeah, and he verified that they take in, they eat up the air, and then they give us oxygen, which is just a really good explanation.
Nice.
Lacey was wondering what makes some leaves not edible, because we were talking about some are edible, some are not, and I think that's a good wonder to stay with, and maybe we can research that more. And a lot of people were asking about tea. Do you guys know anything about making tea? I know that Solar Steve has made tea out of leaves before. What can you tell our audience about making tea out of leaves?
Yeah. So lots of different leaves can be used to make tea. One that we have here is the Douglas fir tree, which I think someone was saying earlier in the comments tastes kind of like orangey, like citrusy. And you can actually boil that down into a tea, and it's super good for you. Has all kinds of antioxidants in it. Vitamin C, exactly. Yeah, there's lots of different leaves. We have some up in our garden that we can make yummy teas with. Yeah, anyone else have an example of a leaf you can make tea with?
Someone had that mint leaf at home.
Mint leaf.
True, mint leaf.
Can you make tea out of yerba buena leaves?
Yeah.
Yeah, lemon balm.
Nice. These are great questions. All right, we are going to move on to our last leaf pattern, and we're going to go with net-like veins. So close your eyes really quick and just imagine what a net looks like. You've got all these crisscrossing portions of the net, and you're going to see in just a second how that looks in the leaf. So I think Cholo has the net-like veins for us to check out. So come on up, Cholo.
Here you go. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see all little, kind of looks like a little net all over the leaf.
Yeah. And it's got some maybe main veins here, and then it's got the other ones kind of sprawling out like a net from the edges.
So cool.
Yeah, very pronounced, very obvious. Thanks, Cholo.
You're welcome.
Great example of net-like veins. All right. So now that we've learned some about all the different characteristics of a leaf, we've got shape, we've got edges, we've got veins, we're gonna move on to sketching. So hopefully you still have your leaf that you found in hand. And
Do you want to talk about, before sketching, arrangements of the leaves?
sure, we could talk about arrangements really quick, and then we'll move on quickly to sketching. All right. So we've got two types of leaf arrangements, and that's just the way that they're arranged on a stem, so how they line up. So everyone take your hands, shake them in the air, shake them out. Oh yeah. And then make two leaves. And then you're gonna take your wrists and put them together, connect them. So you've got two leaves coming out of the same spot on your arm stems. on your arm stems. Two leaves, same spot. And we're gonna see what that looks like on this set of leaves right here. Roots is gonna hold up.
I love my arm stems.
So as you can see on the stem, you've got two leaves coming out on opposite sides from the same point. So those would be oppositely arranged leaves. So put your wrists together one more time and say opposite 3 times fast. Go. Opposite, 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 opposite. Nice. That was maybe 4. All right. So then split your hands apart. Take your right wrist and put it on your left elbow, just like that.
Arm stem.
On your arm stem.
Arm stem.
And say alternate. Alternate. Oh, yeah, because we've got alternate arranged leaves. So on the stem, the leaves are kind of staggered. So instead of coming out opposite of each other, They kind of alternate
And I
back
can
and
show them
forth.
side by side if they want to.
Yeah, that's a great comparison, side by side. Nice. Thanks, Roots. Cool. All right. And I think that'll wrap it up for all of our leaf characteristics. So you now know a little bit about the leaf itself and even about the branch, how they can be arranged on the branch. And with that knowledge, Ruth is going to help you guys do a scientific sketch to look a little closer.
So, still have your leaf at home near you. Make sure you have your pen, pencil, or paper. I'm going to go grab my things real quick, and then we can start scientific sketching. Oh, actually, let's do this one. I'll use this leaf. Okay. So, I have my leaf here. Oopsies. I have my leaf here. If you have your leaf at home, hold it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my leaf and put it on my paper. Yes. Thank you, cameraman. And what I want you to do is you can press down your leaf a little bit, but you are going to start tracing your leaf. So let's start tracing, and make sure it looks round. So, and that's one of the shapes that that Poppy was talking about. So I have the shapes up here, and it looks round. So I'm gonna write on the bottom, round. I don't know if you see round. Yeah. And then what I want to do is I want to take a close look and see if we can talk about the edges. So, like Poppy did, I run my finger around the leaf and I don't say ouch. It's not prickly, it's not toothed, it's not lobed. It is smooth. It is a smooth edge. So I'm going to put comma, smooth. And while I'm writing and sketching, you can comment below what type of shapes or edges your leaf is. We are curious to see what leaf you have. And next, I'm going to look closely at the leaf. And as you can see the veins of this leaf. And what's really cool is you can also flip over your leaf and you can see the veins as well. So I'm going to start drawing out the veins, and you can draw the veins at home too. So I'm no artist, even though I try to be, but I'm going to see if I can draw out these veins.
Roots, Natalia's noticing that your leaf is round and rough.
Ah, round and rough. Actually, Natalia, you are right. And I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit furry too. If I rub my fingers on the leaf, it's pretty furry.
So maybe you can add that quick one-word description of the texture on the side of your sketch.
Furry.
Nice.
Texture. And if you notice, this leaf is quite large. So what I like to do is maybe do like a little, make your own ruler. And how long do you think this leaf is, Poppy, from your eye ruler?
Length.
Hand length. So perfect. I'm going to write hand length.
Those are great drawings of veins. What type do you think they are?
Yeah.
Vince?
It looks like, let's see if can an ant park in there? No, they're too, no. They look like net-like veins.
I agree.
So what you can do is you can draw this box, kind of highlighting the vein. Draw an arrow to the box and say net-like veins. Awesome. And if you want what Poppy was saying and what Natalie was saying, furry is a great word to describe the texture. You can also say the color is green. Kind of reminds me of a spoon.
Ooh.
So I could put spoon-like.
Nice.
And now you've just made your scientific sketch. And what you can also do is you can draw or write the specific details of the leaf. So this leaf, you can see there's a little point at top.
Roots, my Sholly was also noticing that it's kind of ruffly
Yeah.
and
We can see
smooth,
it.
whereas other people noticed it was soft. Michael said it looks
very
like an
soft.
arrowhead. Isn't that a cool
Oh.
one?
Ah,
That is a great
arrowhead. So I'm going to write arrowhead. That's pretty cool. arrowhead.
And maybe there's something unique about your leaf. You can point that out too. So I see some maybe spots on Ruth's
I
leaf.
definitely see some spots. And what's really cool is, I don't know if you can see this. If you look, you can put your leaf above your head and see if you can see through it, if you can see light going through your leaf. Because what Poppy was saying, there are spots, but also it looks like it's pretty
Roots Chicago
transparent.
also was adding that it's dark green. I like how he got super specific with what
shade.
type of green it was.
I just saw in the comment that it looks like a ramen spoon. I'm gonna write that. Ramen
Make sure to add dark to your green.
spoon. And I'm gonna put dark. Yeah, thank you. These are really great observations. Beautiful.
Nice.
Awesome.
All right, we're gonna have a couple naturalists come up and show their leaf sketches while you guys finish up your sketches at home. So let's have Lumen come on up.
I'm not a very good artist, but that's okay. I had redwood needles. I tried tracing, but it was kind of tricky. The leaves alternate. It's kind of hard to tell. They look opposite when you look closely, but then after you can tell more. And I wrote what color it was, that it had a smoother texture. Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna have one more person come up really quick. Let's have Shanty.
All right, so I drew my leaf here, and I noticed that it had parallel veins coming out from the stem, but then in between, there were all these net-like veins in between the parallel ones, which was pretty cool. And I wrote down that it had the sharp, pointy edges on the outside, and the texture of my leaf was really waxy. It was super shiny looking, and it had a sort of a slippery feel to it. And I also wrote that it was dark green. Shout out to whoever said that before, that the other leaf was dark green. Mine was too. But I also noticed that there were little tiny brown spots that looked like maybe an insect had been eating my leaf, or maybe something was growing on it. So it had little brown spots on it. I noticed that down here it had a reddish stem. Another thing that could be really cool to think about is maybe going even further and thinking about why your leaves might be these ways. So why might a leaf might have these characteristics?
Nice. Thanks, Shanty. All right.
Who showed their sketch before Shanty? Lumen. Chris said that your sketch looks like a 2D Christmas tree.
Thanks, Chris.
And then Stephanie was wondering, I don't know if it was about the spots on Shanty's leaf, but she was wondering if those spots could be spores.
Oh, wow.
Maybe, or maybe on the leaf we were looking at before. And then finally, I love this positive comment from Makani. He was saying that all the sketches look really, really good.
Oh,
Thanks for these positive comments. We hope that you're making really cool sketches at home too. Feel free to send in a picture if you know how to do that.
You could add a picture to the comments. We would love to see. And with that, we are going to start moving on to something bigger. We're going to start looking maybe more at like the whole
Big.
tree. So we're going to focus on one very special type of tree. That is our favorite tree. It's what's all around us.
Yes.
The redwood tree.
The redwood
The
tree.
redwood tree. So
We're gonna head on over and migrate to one of the redwood trees.
yeah, so come on over, follow us. And while we're walking, something cool that you can do, it's actually a club here at Outdoor Ed, is a leaf tattoo club. So you could take any leaf, maybe you could even find a redwood leaf, and you stick it on your wrist, just like that, and press down, maybe sing your ABCs a couple times. And then eventually when you take it off, you can maybe see a little print of a leaf. I don't know if that shows up very well. But you could join the leaf tattoo club with any leaf, see if you can find the pattern, the shape, the veins.
Nice. So we have Twig here, and I'm going to ask Twig, hey Twig, go find a redwood tree and give it a big hug.
Oh,
Nice. Nice. Can you show the kids at home eyes up a tree for this redwood tree and maybe talk about the observations that
For sure. So I'm doing this on a redwood tree, but you can do this anywhere you want. It can be in your backyard or any tree you find in your neighborhood. All you gotta do is put your belly on the tree, stand your chin
Belly up a tree.
and look up into the branches, and then you can make observations about everything you see. For example, I see a bunch of tiny branches, but then they look like they're getting bigger. And then I see a lot of green. Those are the things I notice. You guys can comment down below things that you notice as well, because it's almost like your belly is up a tree right now.
Oh, thank you, Twig. Awesome. So yeah, there's how tall this redwood tree is. It is the tallest tree in California in the world. It has a name to it. If you know what it is, leave a comment below. But we are now going to show you how these redwood trees grew up. And Poppy has some really cool things behind the camera.
Let's actually maybe put it on the table. That way we can get a good steady view of it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have, so redwood trees grow from these cones. Oh, and as you can see, these seeds. So all of these tiny seeds actually come from these cones. And you can kind of see that there's spaces in between all of these little like scales of the cone, and that's actually where the seeds come out of. So the seeds are tucked in here, and when those scales kind of open up, it drops the seeds, and they're super, super, super tiny, which is kind of crazy because they're the tallest trees basically in the world.
Yeah.
So if you can think of any other seeds that maybe are smaller, you can write it down in the comments below. Can you think of any seeds that are smaller than a redwood seed? So we have these really cool cones, and just to give you an idea of how this like seed dropping process works, we're going to show you another type of cone. So we have a pine cone here, and you can see the size difference. We have these tiny redwood cones compared to these huge pine cones, and these pine trees don't get nearly as tall as the redwood trees, so it's kind of crazy that their cones are so big compared to the redwoods. And before this cone looks like this with all the open scales, it actually is green and closed. So if you take a look at this one, the redwood cones do the exact same thing. They start out as really tiny green closed cones, and then after maybe like a fire or heat or maybe a squirrel eating them, the scales will actually brown as they dry out, and they go from green to brown, and the scales open and they drop the seeds.
Nice. Yeah, and I actually have a diagram here that shows you this is a sequoia tree, and I see in the comments that you talked about General Sherman, which is awesome, Sequoia National Park. They are the largest trees, but here the coast redwoods are the tallest trees. In the comments below, true or false, the tallest redwood tree in the world is taller than the Statue of Liberty. True or false? And I want to see how many people say it's true or say it's false. Yeah. So next up for this, we can show one of the biggest cones.
Yeah, so this cone is from a sugar pine tree,
Whoa.
which again, huge cone, but the tree itself is actually still shorter than a redwood. And just to give you a little size comparison, Roots has that tiny redwood cone. Tiny cone. So again, even though we have
If cones had sounds,
it's true. The voices. Yeah, that's
lighten the mood.
tiny redwood cone compared to this massive sugar pine cone. So the size of the cone and the seeds doesn't necessarily determine how tall those trees are going to get, which is pretty cool.
And here at Outdoor Ed, we actually have the oldest and tallest celebrities, which I think I see them over there right now, and we're gonna introduce you both we're gonna introduce you to them. They are Big Red and Dead Fred. Let's go on over. Oh my God!
Look at how they're raising their branches towards the sun.
Yeah. And we actually, I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna give some roll call. This is Big Red. And Big Red, can you give me a hoo hoo? Awesome. So, here at Alter Ed, we have Big Red and Dead Fred. And there is a story behind why Dead Fred looks like this. So, Big Red and Dead Fred are best friends. They love each other. They're hanging out in the Valley of the Giants here at Alter Ed. But one morning, there was a fire that came across the forest. And with this fire, there was an ember that got into Dead Fred. And this opened up Dead Fred's bark. And one specific animal went into Dead Fred because Dead Fred became a shelter for these animals during the wintertime. And that animal is a mule deer. And Big Red thought this was so cool that Dead Fred did this because they're best friends and they're very caring for each other. Yeah. And since Dead Fred housed mule deers, Dead Fred also housed another animal, this creature called the bark beetle.
Dun, dun, dun. Come on over, little buddy. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm so sure.
And Dead Fred was so kind and let the bark beetle live inside of him. But as you can see with this stick, the bark beetles like to chew through the bark and make these really cool patterns. And you can kind of trace the bark beetles. And ultimately, the bark beetles liked Dead Fred, said yum, 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 chew, chew, chew. And Dead Fred from these bark beetles sadly died. And Big Red was super sad, but Big Red grew out this really huge bicep. Yes, for Dead Fred. Huge bicep. And although Dead Fred was no longer living and Big Red was sad, Dead Fred actually, before he passed, grew out from the roots his daughter named Skinny Minnie.
My child.
And in the Valley of Giants here, Outdoor Ed, Skinny Minnie, Dead Fred, and Big Red still live on for all the Outdoor Ed students to visit them. Thank you. Yeah, warm fuzzies.
Nice.
It was the star.
Get a little teary.
Woohoo!
Nice. So that is the story of Big Red and Dead Fred. And in that story, you can kind of learn some cool features of those redwood trees. So when that fire came rushing through, redwood trees have such thick bark and also a chemical called tannins that help make them fire resistant. So instead of completely dying, Dead Fred was able to survive and provide that shelter for all those animals. So it was a really cool example of some of those cool, unique characteristics of redwood trees and how resistant they can be to fire. Yeah, and with that, I think we're going to start moving on towards our closing. So Roots has some last things that you guys can do after this live stream, maybe at home, things that you learned today.
And if you have any final questions as well, please comment below and maybe we can answer them with some of the time that we have. And do you have any?
I got a couple.
Yeah, go ahead.
These were some questions that came up when we were talking about leaves. Well, we had one comment from Vishali said that she's made tea with green and mint leaves.
Oh, I love that.
Isabel was wondering why leaves come in different shapes and sizes. It's a really interesting question.
Too, yeah.
And then someone else was wondering what makes leaves have caffeine, why they have that chemical.
I can kind of answer the one about why leaves have a specific shape. So for redwood leaves, I'm pretty sure this is true. There's this thing called surface area. So the the redwood trees are super tall, and it's really hard for some of the parts of the tree to get the water all the way up to these leaves and the branches. So there's this thing called Carl the Fog that comes through this forest and waters the leaves. And what's really cool is that I don't have the spray bottle, but oh, perfect. Poppy's gonna get something. She's going to be the fog, or Lady Nightshade if you want to be
I'm
the fog.
here.
And the leaf has these surface area, that captures the fog,
I see it dripping.
and you can see the water dripping. Yeah, thank you, Lady
Look, it's
Nightshade.
getting on your... Oh my god, it's on my glove now.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
if you shake it off, you can see how much the leaves hold that retention of the water. Yeah. Thank you, Lady Nightshade. Good questions.
Yeah, great question.
And yeah, let's do one more.
Sure.
Just pop in those questions.
Cindy is wondering why insects like eating leaves.
Chanterelle has that answer.
So this is probably an answer to that previous question about caffeine and the insect question, because the reason that leaves will have different chemicals in them is to try to get insects and other things not to eat them. A lot of people have been asking about edible plants and stuff. We're not the only ones that like to eat things. Bugs and deer and other animals like to eat the leaves of trees and plants, but they don't want to be eaten. So they make these chemicals to try to keep those bugs and other animals from eating them. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Chanterelle.
True.
Oh.
Like caffeine. People love caffeine.
Thank you, Chanterelle. Well put. So, hopefully those answered all your questions. Maybe we can answer your questions later on as well after this live stream. So, after the live stream, we have some clubs and things you can do at home. Feet Up a Tree Club. We didn't show you, but you can see in this picture that...
I saw it on the disco yesterday.
Oh, yeah. If they saw in the disco, Feet Up a Tree. Twig showed us the Belly Up Club. Poppy showed the Leaf Tattoo Club. Write a leaf legend means just write a leaf story. Maybe after you sketched out, you did your scientific sketching, you can write a story about your leaf, either made up or the
Kinda
origin.
Like the legend of Big Red and Dead Fred.
The legend of Big Red and Dead Fred,
Story
exactly.
To explain the life of the leaf.
Yes, and leaf art. You can change your leaf, maybe glue some leaves on a paper, pretend they're fishies, draw an ocean on it. Oh, this is so cute. Yeah, this leaf art.
Leaf deer.
Leaf deer. Yeah, beautiful. And last announcement?
Yeah. So again, with all those clubs and activities, we encourage you guys to take everything that you learned today and go explore a little bit more with leaves and trees. Closing announcements. Don't forget to join us tonight at 6:30 for Campfire, hosted by Soleil and Twig. Hosts for Campfire tonight. Don't miss it. 6:30.
Yes, and don't forget to check out the newsletter. The materials of Deer Menu and Leaf Hunt are on that newsletter.
Made by Roots and Hazel and
Cove. Yeah, check it out. And hopefully you had fun today. This is your second day at Outdoor Ed. And remember to...
Slow